Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Before I even get started, these are some sketchy workers next door. They have no rhyme or reason to what they're doing, so it seems like every time I sit down ready to do a video, they somehow get some power tool out. So I'm just going to keep going if they do, and we'll just have to deal with it. Anyhow, this is just going to be one of the weekend chats. I haven't talked about this subject in a while, and actually since the last time I have talked about it, some of my thoughts have changed. I'm actually thinking more along the lines now of the future, and this is just a possible scenario. I might end up some other country. I'm not locked into Costa Rica for life. I've got some interest in Lebanon and some places in Europe and some other places in South America. But I think I'll always retain a piece of Costa Rica as a part of my year, part of my home in here. So what I've started thinking is human nature. It doesn't matter whether it's our community or not. People are argumentative, and there's all these different factions and groups. You can see it within communities and people arguing on videos and whatever. Definitely not something that I want to have in my day-to-day life. So I've thought, like, okay, if I ever did a little small sustainable community, probably smaller than I originally envisioned. I'm thinking about a big tract of land. I don't know, maybe where, depending on where it's located, price, and all that kind of stuff. Enough where you got a good little spread of land. At least an acre apiece, if not 2, 3, 5 acres apiece. Anyhow, one big parcel of land, split it up into say 6 even parcels. So you could have, you could have as few as 6 people, or you might could have, anywhere from 9 to 10. But I just think anything over that, you start having people that want to be leaders. You have people that, you just have too many disagreements. The more people are involved in anything, the more people are going to argue. And, debate is not something I want in my day-to-day life. I do want people that are fairly like me. I'm not necessarily saying everybody would have to be raw vegan, eat exactly the way I do, but just more or less like people that are interested in eating a high-carb vegan lifestyle, that are interested in growing your own food and being sustainable as much as possible, and leading a good, quiet, productive life, a healthy life, incorporating some of these factors I've been talking about and reading about in the blue zones, like having gardens where you actually work your garden. During the day, you get some physical exertion from working your garden. Somewhere in the area for good long walks. Just the overall lifestyle, a healthy, laid-back, peaceful, relaxing lifestyle with people that are conducive to that kind of lifestyle. Now, I'm not the handiest person in the world, so this is kind of like the kind of project that I would need people that had a skill set that I definitely don't have. I've never been into building things. My dad just didn't teach me that stuff. So I'm a quick learner. I've had a few times where I've helped people with things, picked up a hammer, picked up a couple of tools, and I can be taught. I'm not an idiot. It's not like it's brain surgery. Everybody has to learn something for the first time, but I would need somebody that was a little bit more skilled in that, as far as building. I'm personally into the tiny home type movement. I'm not necessarily into getting what they call a tiny home, if that's a brand name. But I like the idea of a small space. Now, other people could do what they want to with this, but I think it would be interesting, and I think each person in the community helping, if everything in the community, whether from our food to, our electric or to whatever, we could be as sustainable as possible. Now, I'm not saying we won't have electricity. We're going completely off the grid or anything, but, like I say, these are all just details that could be figured out down the road. But for me, I'd just like to build something small and efficient, maybe something with 100 by 100 square foot base, higher ceilings, maybe a loft, and just a real efficient little comfortable place with a nice porch, a little place to sit outside, maybe a common area for the group. And we wouldn't necessarily have to be all over each other. It would be a loose community, a community where we could enjoy getting together, preparing food together, doing some of the work together. Maybe growing different things and trading off foods, but yeah, just a group of cool, like-minded people. And like I say, if we had like six plots or 6 homesteads, some people might be single like me, or you might have some couples there. Like, get a little diversity in there. The one thing I think I would like to keep is I'd like to keep it vegan. I definitely would like to keep it vegan. Don't necessarily want livestock being raised, no matter how humanely people say they're raising them. And I'm not knocking anybody. Sometimes people are so, you know, they're like, well, you're a little, that's excluding, that's a little narrow. And I'm like, well, you know what? Most of my life I don't have people that are even remotely like me, so I think it's okay to want to have some of your time or some of your life that is totally devoted to the kind of people and the way of thinking that you are interested in. It's not knocking anybody else. It's just like, you know, 99.9999% of my life, or the people in my life, have nothing to do or any interest in this health issue, or not health issue, but in this lifestyle, in a raw vegan lifestyle, in a high carb vegan lifestyle, or even most of them aren't even that interested in being healthy. So I think, you know, it's not asking too much for one aspect of my life, just to have that chill comfort zone where I can be around like-minded people. And I would definitely like to, you know, that would be something that I would also need to look into, is I've never grown anything. I've never done any planting, any real gardening of my own. Now, I'm actually going to reach out to somebody that can help me this weekend. I think the first place is to start is in 2 months, when this job is over and I have my time to myself, I'm going to have this person come to my house and just look around my outside, look around what I could do inside, and give me some ideas to get me started growing something. You know, it doesn't have to be that elaborate. It could be added to. This is a rental house. I don't want to go crazy, because who knows? An opportunity might come up for me to go work somewhere, to go live in another community, to learn knowledge. Because there are some bigger communities down here in Costa Rica that I wouldn't be, would be really cool to maybe go do some volunteering, do some help with them to get some experience and learn some things. I don't think I would want to live in a bigger community though. But the point being, what I was getting at is, this is a rental house, so I don't want to get too locked in or into too big of a project here. Anything I do, I want to be fairly simple, but it can start the learning process. So, you know, when this comes a time closer to where, you know, I could make something like this happen, I've got a little bit of the skills to do it. I know a little bit about growing, you know. Like, that's a big, you don't just like grab a bunch of seeds and put them in the ground. There's a lot to learn there. So anyhow, that's just thought I'd throw that out and talk a little bit about a small sustainable vegan community. I like to just, you know, throw these teasers out there from time to time and just, you know, start collecting like-minded minds, or people that could be interested in stuff out there. People see this, actually, a lot of times I've talked about it, and they see it as some sort of a huge undertaking that takes moving mountains to do. Most of it is actually downscaling. It's not so much like you have to come up with a lot of money to do it, or you're going to have to, you know, hope or wish or pray or something fantastic. It's just a matter of, can you give up a lot of what you consider necessities right now? You know, people spend so much money. Like, I think most people, when they talk about, oh, I'm working to survive, no, they're working for more stuff. And, you know, the only way, you know, you really wouldn't need a whole lot in this case. Once you had your house built, even if you weren't you know, even if you're still paying bills, electric bills, a little bit of water, you know, I'm sure we could dig a well, get some fresh water. But, you know, once you've got your land, your piece of land, a home that's paid for, now you start producing your food. Once you get to a point of being, say, 75, you know, even 50 to 75% self-sustainable with the food, you know, there's not a whole lot out there. So after that, what are you working for, or why can't you change the lifestyle you're in? Now, that's just talking to people that are interested in doing it. I agree. Not everybody would be interested in that, you know, and some people perfectly like that lifestyle, and they know why they're in that lifestyle. But I just don't, you know, sometimes people are always like, they see things, or they would hear an idea like this, and they think of that as some pie-in-the-sky dream, like, oh, well, I could never do it. And maybe you could never, or maybe you don't want to do it. Totally respect that, but why can't you do it? What would be holding you back from doing something like that? Is it real issues? No, I absolutely can't. Or are you saying, well, no, I really won't do that because we like living this life. You know, we like having the 2 extra cars. We like having the house that's probably 4 times bigger than we need. We have to have all the brand new shoes every 6 months. We have to have the latest version of the iPhone that comes out. We have to keep up with the Joneses, and we have to have stuff. Well, that's only for you to decide. But if you can give up the stuff, you can live pretty much anyhow and anywhere you want to. But anyhow, just something to think about. Might be a few people out there, like I say, talking through these things helps me formulate even more ideas sometimes. But yeah, that's definitely where I would like to go, is being my own person. At least have it, you know, in the beginning, I don't even know where I would begin if I got something like that. Hopefully maybe buy a property that had some mango trees already going, and then I would then quickly plant papaya and bananas. I say papaya especially because that tree grows to fruiting pretty quick. But anyhow, that's just a little bit of rambling thoughts on that interest that I have. If anybody has any ideas, any thoughts, any suggestions, or just wants to start a discussion on it, leave it in the comments below. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel. If you know any people out there that are in your network, share the video. If you think there might be some people out there that you say, yeah, they could be very interested in doing something like that. Anyhow, thanks for joining me again. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and love each and every one of you. Peace.